Hi, so I have finally finished editing my corset, so in a minute I'm going to show you the process, but I just wanted to apologise for it taking so long to get round to doing this video. Partly it was because we had a heat wave here in England the first week, and we're actually kind of still in it a bit, but it was just too hot to kind of be putting corsets on and stuff, so I took a break. And then when I started editing, I realised that there are actually some kind of semi-serious issues with this corset. If I bring up a photo and show you, just after I started editing it, you can see I realised that the waist tape is completely different one side to the other. It's higher on one side, and even the grommets are slightly off. If you look, you can see one side is kind of here and one side is here, which is quite a difference, and the eyelets on one side go through the middle of the waist tape, and on the other side the waist tape is above the eyelets, so yeah, quite a difference. So I am not gonna kind of review this corset. I spoke to Lucy, and it seems like I've just been really unlucky and got kind of very old stock. I wouldn't have thought many people order the slim silhouette long line. Silly me really, it didn't fit me anyway because I am new to this and not very good at picking my sizes. But yeah, she actually went and visited the manufacturers, the place where all the corsets are made for Timeless Trends, and checked quality and kind of brought them up to standards a while ago, but this is probably from before then. So yeah, she kind of stressed the importance of symmetry and kind of explained a lot more about what you need from a waist training corset to them, so that they could make great corsets, but it's likely this is from kind of before then. So yeah, so she did offer to kind of swap it out, but I decided that yeah, I was going to carry on with the alterations because it's important to show people how to alter a corset, and I said I would. So yeah, I wanted to kind of finish the process so that I could show you. So yeah, I shall show you the video now, and so hopefully if you have any issues with your corset, I mean I should be able to sit on the sofa with no problem. I've raised this area here and the front just by kind of like a little bit, and I've cut it down quite a bit at the top, so you can now see like my bra line is here, so it's kind of like sitting nice. Yeah, so I'll show you it all the way round. So first of all, this is it before. And now this is it after. So yeah, so here is how I did this. Right, so I promised you a video on how to edit a corset. This is my long line underbust that is too long line for me. I'm actually turns out standard size, so we are going to be editing. So I've drawn on in chalk while it was on me. This is where my my bra underwire is when I'm sitting. So I've left a decent gap and drawn on a line in chalk pencil where the new top edge is going to be. I also, even though the bottom edge kind of didn't need editing, if I'm sitting on a hard surface, it's fine, but I did sit on the couch and draw in the line where my lap is. If you look, you can see kind of the pink. The pink is where I was drawing on the corset while it was on my body, and then I've just gone and kind of neatened the edge. So the line may be thick, but I'm going just from the outside edge. I've never altered a corset before, so this is the first time. If it goes horribly wrong, at least you'll know what not to do. Because this corset has hip ties, I won't need to unpick the binding on the back half.
and the back half is okay on me, so just editing this front section here and this top section. Now I'm not going to undo the bias binding on the top section, I can do that afterwards. I'm just going to cut along this line with some tin snips. You're going to want some really decent tin snips for this, because I would imagine the busk is going to be fun to cut through. Now if you're going to be doing this at home, I suggest going midway between busk loops. At the bottom here I could have done with bringing this up a bit, but I kind of wanted to keep it vaguely symmetrical here for the sake of fashion, of looking pretty. So I'm just bringing it up a little bit. Okay, so I have removed this far enough back from where I'm going to be cutting, and I've just drawn the line in underneath. That was triple stitched at the end there, so Timeless Trends corsets are very well made. I am, rather than using the fabric scissors here and then swapping to the tin snips when I get to the bones, which we will be cutting straight through, I am just going to use my tin snips on the whole lot. So let's see how this goes. So far so good. Right, I'm going to go for this. Now you can hear each of the spiral steels snapping. That might just be easier. We will need to cut the bones down anyway from this line to about sort of here, so we can get the bias binding on. Right, I'm going to give this a tug with my teeth. There we go. Right, so now we have the busk to deal with, and this is going to be the fun bit. No idea how this is going to go, but we want to kind of cut it down to about there if we can. So there we go. Now, just the way you would if you were cutting your own bones, I'm going to trim down these corners a little, and then I will file that. But for now, let's just finish that off. So that's not gone too badly, despite a lot of pulling and pushing. So yeah, I might round this a little more. I can do that with my dressmaking scissors. Just to get a nice neat edge. So that is the bottom edge done. Now I'm going to have fun with the top. Afterwards I will unpick all of this so that I can put it back on. Now if you do make a complete hash up of your removal job, you can always go and grab some new bias binding from your local sewing centre. I think I should just about get away with that. Okay, so I've taken the bias binding off. Made quite a mess of it. It was triple stitched at the ends, so yeah, if this happens to you, do just go out and get some new bias binding if you don't want to use it as is. You may also need to get yourself some new bias binding if you curve the edge of your corset. Say here I might have that issue as it was straight before. I may have created an extra long edge. My bias binding may not fit anymore. So I should just about get away with it. Anyway, so now I've unpicked the edges, we can have a go at trying to get the bones out. It is just a case of finding the quickest method, and like I said, I was hoping I could just cut the whole thing down and then pull back the edges, tip the bones, and then do it that way. But being that they're proving so difficult to cut through with the extra layers of fabric, it might be an idea to pull them out. Now, I did go and get my my pliers. I think that might be an easier way of getting them out. Hoping that these will come out. But not having much luck. There we go. Now these go down to about here, so I don't know if I'm going to manage to get these pliers in. I don't think so. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cheat and just cut those down. So we now have an order in which to do things. Remove the bias binding first and pull out the bones. And I can then just use my scissors. You're going to want to leave just sort of about ½ an inch so you can get your bias binding on. So let me show you quickly. When you cut them to size, you're going to want to leave just sort of about ½ an inch so you can get your bias binding on. Right, so I have fortunately got some end caps that should fit onto these bones, and my last few, I haven't used this for a while. These are slightly thicker, so depending on what size the bones are when you get them out, you'll need different size end caps with the other pair. And there we have it. Now, as for the lacing bones and any other sprung steels, these will need to be cut down to about the same place, but they'll need some tipping fluid on them. So, you get your tin snips. Oh. And you just cut straight across, then you cut the edges. Oh. Won't need to go to the gym today. And then we're going to just file this off with a metal file. So it's nothing sharp. go. And now for the tipping fluid. Now, I've had this for years. If you can't get hold of tipping fluid, the other thing I've seen a number of people do is to use end caps, just exactly the same way you do with the spirals, which is useful if you want to wear your corset out and you're short on time. Looks lovely. Because you do have to wait for this to dry, and ideally you want to dip it twice. So just going to dunk it in, take it out. There we go. You can put it over the end of the table. So I'll take a metal file to that. It's actually not too bad. If I show you at this end, I've already managed to pull it down. It's just a case of yanking it as far down as you can, pinning it back with either pins or these clips, so you can get to the bone. And now I'm going to what I want to do, I think, is cut that corner off. Now you can really round them, but I like the idea of keeping it kind of the shape it's going to be at the edge of the corset there. But now for the tipping fluid, I'm not going to dunk that in there, so let's see what I can do. Probably the best solution, being that we are altering a corset and we can't take this out. So there, I might give that a second layer once it's dry. There are probably several corset makers out there watching this going, ah! But yeah, not the world's worst bodge job. So I will leave that to dry, and I will neaten these off and push them back in once I've cut them down and tipped them. Okay, so I have reattached the binding. All the way up to here. And if I show you, I've just sewn it on this side and then folded it over. Now, if you're not familiar with attaching bias binding, I actually have a tutorial on my website, so I shall put the link in the corner. I think that corner. Hopefully it'll magically pop up. So yeah, and now because the bone is slightly kind of higher than the sewing line, I can't use my sewing machine on this. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can just stitch it all by hand. But so I am basically just taking the sewing needle in and out. If it gets a bit tough going through the layers, you can use a thimble. And then I'm just going to finish that to the end and sew that up. Excuse the squeaking in the background, it's my puppy's birthday and we just got her a new squeaky toy. Okay, so I'm going to finish that and then show you what it looks like on. So I hope that video was useful to you, and yeah, so I was hoping to kind of train in this for a little while longer until I kind of had racked up quite a few hours in it and then kind of reviewed it, but being that it's kind of ski whiff, and I mean that does at least explain why, like if one side is higher than the other, why I'm kind of finding the bust kind of strays slightly and stuff. I'm going to continue wearing it. I mean, like I said before, my hips are kind of lopsided anyway, so
I will let you know kind of how I get on with it. But yeah. Oh, in other news, I may be bringing out a new corset pattern. I'm actually working with a corset drafter to draft and grader, so that I can finally bring out some new patterns. It's all kind of up in the air at the moment, so I shall give you more information on that. But the plan is some of my corset illustrations that I did kind of like a year or so ago. I had 100 designs daily design challenge. So yeah, if you were following along with that, some of the designs may actually be coming to the real world. So it's exciting. So for now, I shall leave you, and I hope this video helped, and I shall see you soon. Oh, before I go, it is someone's birthday. Nuka! Nuka, 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 Nuka! It's someone's birthday today. She is one. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's not coming anywhere for me. She says it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I shouldn't have to move around. But yeah, she's got a little I am one today badge on. And the people at Starbucks thought I was crazy, didn't they? I asked for some whipped cream for you, and they obliged, because they love you. And she had a slice of doggy cake from the doggy bakery. And yes, I put a candle in it. So yeah, so Nuka is one today. We all grown up? Not quite, no. So yeah, we shall be back soon, yeah, I shall leave you with a link down below to Nuka's Facebook page if you want to give her to give her a look and love, because yes, we finally caved and we have a Facebook page, don't we? Yes. Okay, bye for now.